Hello, everyone. I know you may be new in the area of the shoots, and I'm dressed up. Why? Because tell above or down below. Because recently I got to watch the movie Hamlet, which came out this year, but I was very, very lucky and tenacious enough to find it on the internet. And this is just an incredible movie watching experience. I was really moved, and yet shocked, but yet also kind of privileged to see this. This is a really this movie is basically a post-war character study bloodbath of the movie when you see of Hamlet. And of course the story, as many people will know, iconically well done by William Shakespeare, is taken on by the director of the Australian director, Justin Kurzel. Basically the story goes like, after murdering the King Duncan, played by David Thwaites, and seizing the throne of Scotland, Macbeth, played magnificently by Michael Fassbender, becomes consumed with guilt and paranoia, and there's a cold, dark, remorseless, tyrannical horde type of leader of Scotland, and you just see his rise and fall from fame of becoming the king, and also being previously a warrior for the Scots. And this film is very much a dark grit, and a lot of people, including myself, hate using the word gritty. But this is what I'm talking about when people say gritty. This is a dark, gritty, hands-on, post-war, almost like a Braveheart feel of essentially Macbeth. And the story is really, really well done. It's done in much more in a visual medium type of way, which of course that's just supposed to be, because this is a visual media. It's a movie, of course. Show, don't tell, essentially. And I like that. It doesn't really spell everything out for the audience. It doesn't try to cheat any of the source material. Now, of course, I haven't read any of Shakespeare, but I do know what this is about, essentially, as a whole. And the movie just has a real dark, magnetic, post-war, traumatic type of feel to it. And Michael Fassbender plays Macbeth beautifully. It's really, really beautiful, and how crazy he goes from being a tragic character in the beginning, because in the beginning it kind of does establish that he wanted to have a child, but the child unfortunately died, and it shows that he would have had some relationship with the soldiers at the time, because during the war of the era, a lot of the older people who were soldiers were killed. And in the beginning, in the movie, the first 10-15 minutes, it's like this one big post type of war feeling of it, and he sees like all these people, probably like around my age, because they're much younger, like people in their 20s at least, fighting for and more fighting with Macbeth, and all of them almost getting slaughtered, and him seeing brothers, like people who he considered brothers, getting killed before his eyes. And he actually has a really good friend relationship with one person, and he experiences the death of one of his friends in war, who very gruesomely gets his throat cut. And it's just really visceral, and it really makes you feel both very sad and tragic for the character. And at that point, in the beginning, you're just like, okay, this is going to be a very sympathetic performance by Michael Fassbender. And he knows how to he really does know how to play that dark turmoil boiling inside of a character. Like, he has done it. I forgot if he was in, don't kill me, but I forgot if he's in Inglourious Bastards, but he's most notable for doing his work in the modern X-Men films, which I greatly love, because he's so fantastic as Magneto, and it's almost like the character has that same feeling within him. It's like that small, bouldering buildup of hate and just nastiness inside of him, and it just burns and grows and grows and grows, and you see this horrible, ugly monster unleashed. And once he becomes the King of Scotland, you see him just deteriorate as a character. And you just see him grow worse and worse and worse. And he's the type of person who's kind of willing to use his intelligence of this era field, like, how to become king, essentially. And he uses his own intelligence to work to his own advantage. And at some point in the movie, he does something very, very unapologetic and horrible, genuinely, shockingly horrible. Of course, he kills the king, because that's in a fucking story, and the story's been around since the 1700s. But I was really shocked of how beautifully well done it's. Just, you see this character deteriorate, and you see him both grow from a character perspective, but him as a great person before, you see him fall, and you see him rise and fall of his own state of grace, essentially, and it's beautiful. It's truly, truly well done. I was really thrown back by his performance. It's one of the best performances I've seen all year. It's phenomenal. It's really, really phenomenal. And I was just completely taken back by that. And his wife, Lady Macbeth, played by Marion Cotillard. The only film I've known her before in is The Dark Knight Rises, which I think is a very disappointing film, but whatever. But she's she's also fantastic. Let me just focus on a little bit more before I go into Marion Cotillard's character. Michael Fassbender displays the character beautifully. He knows how to sell that dark inner turmoil, that deteriorating, remorseless, horrid, unapologetic monster, just remorseless, essentially, type of character who is very much like a mix of William Wallace meets I forgot the character's name. It's kind of like a mix of William Wallace meets Jake Gyllenhaal's character from Nightcrawler. It's like a mix of those two characters, and he really is the type of person who's willing to use his own intelligence to get into a position. He's a very tenacious, dangerous, unpredictable psychopath, and you really don't want to cross him at all. He's essentially like a mix of Excalibur. He's kind of like a mix of King Arthur and Hannibal Lecter. It's really interesting to see him just grow as a character in the movie. He's fantastic. He really sells it all. Now I'll move on. Marion Cotillard plays Lady Macbeth, his wife. She's also excellent. She just sells the freaking movie. She's absolutely amazing. She really does know how to play off of him. She knows how to play. She's very much like him, but she kind of has a support with him. Like, she kind of supports him as they go, which makes you kind of question her, and you're just like, what the hell? And you're really shocked. But she just has this very, very chilling, moving performance in the movie, which I was really shocked by. And it's just beautiful. And these two, Marion Cotillard and Michael Fassbender, just have fantastic chemistry and all the sets. And the production design is fantastic. It's very much like, oddly enough, it's kind of like Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones meets 300 and Valhalla Rising. If you ever heard of Valhalla Rising, I would highly recommend you watch it. It's a fantastic movie. Just done, man. Oh my god, this movie is just fantastic. I'm really just blushing about the movie, and I'm really moved by it. The score by, I forgot what the musical score is done by, but it's very, very beautiful, and it has almost like that. It's very much on the note of like very, very much. It's a film that, if anything, like the number one film that you can feel like it's connecting to is kind of like Braveheart, which I can't help but understand why that's one of my favorites of all time. I love Braveheart, and I just really, really see it. In my opinion, this is definitely one of the best. In my opinion, this is definitely one of the best source-based book-to-film adaptations, in my opinion, since the first Hobbit. In my opinion, it's just fantastic. I love it, and the way it's done is so chilling and so clever and so cunning. It's so brilliant. And I wrote some stuff down. The acting, oh my god, just the dialogue heavy moments. Granted, they may kind of slow down the film at times, and it makes you kind of focus and study on the character more. But it's really interesting to see it and to really see how fascinating we would go to There's a lot of moments where they'd be really smart and cunning, but there's a lot of moments where they would be just sitting and talking, and kind of get some moments they would actually kind of break and become very upset or something like that, and you really feel that genuine, raw, pure emotion given from both of these actors. It's fantastic. You really seem to. There's a couple of scenes where I think Marion Cotillard's character, Lady Macbeth, she kind of breaks down and has a very heavy emotional scene in the movie, and I was really moved by it. I was so amazed by it. Another thing I want to mention about this movie is the first 15 minutes are some of the best filmmaking I've seen in the last 10 years. It's absolutely astounding. I love it. It's very much like a mix of this stylish 300 feel to it, of the slow and fast motion, visceral feel to it, but also all the wide shots make me feel like I'm also in like a very smart, well-making movie. It's sort of like dumbing down the action in a way, but it's like it gives you great action, but not in a spoon-feeding way. It very much knows its pure audience, which is pretty responsible because this one's rated like 17 and up, essentially, and I can see why it's gory as shit. And the cinematography, holy shit! I thought Roger Deakins did the cinematography for this movie, and it's so beautiful. It's so amazing. I love that about it. And the tone and the way it's directed, the shot, the atmosphere, it really gives you a great, grand feel. And even though it's just on Scotland, you feel like the weight of this universe comes down to these certain moments of character decisions. And I genuinely feel like I'm there with them. Like, this could be like the last act in history. I want to be there with these characters, and I really gotta give mad props to the writers within the movie. Just make you feel like you're in the adventure as both a character study of Macbeth, but also gives you a great feeling of this war kick-ass hero that he is. Kind of like this again 300, like kind of like a post-Leonidas type of feel, King Arthur feeling for this character. This very dark, turmoil type of character, like I've said so many times before. Anything else I wrote down some notes. The cinematography. I already talked about the cinematography, but the cinematographer is Adam Arcapon, and he is phenomenal. He is absolutely phenomenal. I love the way it's shot. It's so gradually breathtaking, and one thing that some of the films this year has given me in a sense is like Ex Machina, Steve Jobs, Bridge Spies. I'm sure I'm missing something. Is that they're so focused on giving a smart, clever, very, very intense feel of a movie, but they kind of do lose those rewatchability factors to it. This is a great balance of both a smart psychological character study of Macbeth. It's very fascinating, and while it may drag, I do kind of admit it will drag at those scenes, you still feel invested. You still care about the character, and yet counterbalance to that, the action scenes are mind-blowing. They're simply mind-blowing, and I am so amazed by this movie. I'm blown out of my mind about it. I'm just rampant of how much I love this movie. I fell in love with this. I fell in love with Macbeth, and I have a feeling I kind of don't want to read the novel, because if I do that, like more the purist of essentially Shakespeare, more the purist of Shakespeare will be like complaining about certain things and how they deliver the dialogue. I don't know. I'm not an expert. But at the very end, I kind of appreciate what I got with this movie. It gives me both the right amount of the character study aspect to it, but it keeps me coming back for both the character, the performance, and that fun, incredible action that it has as a whole. I'm really, really just genuinely shocked this didn't get a wide release here in Canada, because I found it here on the internet and I fell in love with Macbeth. It's one of my top tier favorites of this year so far. Maybe, if anything, my number one favorite right now. Before Star Wars, I'm really excited. I'm just really excited. It's one of my top tier favorite movies of the year. It's one of my favorite movies of the last few years. It's one of the best movie experiences I've had ever, really. I don't know. This is just a phenomenal film to me. And for me at least, there's almost little to no problems with the movie, except for maybe the purists maybe upset about certain changes. I don't know. And there may be a bit slow moments. I don't know. But still, those slow moments keep you so invested. They're so good. They're so pure. They're so raw. And as a whole, you just feel like you just watched both a great character piece, but also this fun, kick-ass war film that is a great balance as a whole. And to me, except for some very minor things, to me, this is as close to a perfect film as you can get. And I guarantee you, all who's watching, I'm gonna give Macbeth 100 perfect %. To me, that film is practically flawless. And I know I'm maybe highly praising the film, but my love and genuine pure reaction as a whole, and having a day to think about this in preparation to making this review, and watching it on the weekends, it's one of the best films I may have seen in a good long while. And I can't give any more praises to the film. The music was great, the writing was excellent, the acting was phenomenal, the action was exciting as shit. This is to me an almost 100%, if anything, a perfect film. This is to me a perfect film. I love fucking Macbeth. It's one of my favorites of the year so far. Thank you everyone for watching this very long and extensive review. I do apologize. And till then everyone, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the future for more videos as always. Till then, thank you very much, and remember, stay strong. Goodbye everyone.